When you've sewn a denim seam, something like this, you do find that going up and over that really thick, bulky seam can have some issues. You either get short little tiny stitches, you skip stitches, you get one long stitch after you come off of it. And I'm going to show you a couple things. We're going to show you how to use the multi-purpose tool to help you get nice even stitches over a really thick area. And I'm going to cheat just a little bit. We're going to do a little top stitching, but with the foot number 3 that came with your machine, and utilizing that red marker that's adjustable for the perfect top stitch before we actually do this. So we've sewed the seam together, and I'm going to kind of press it over here to the left side. And I'm going to just take the foot number 3. Like I said, this is one of my cheat foots that I love to show people. We're going to put that little red marker in the seam and then move the needle position to the left. So as we have the needle position, you can decide how far over you want that to be. Just a couple, actually I'm only going to do like 1 millimeter, just based on where the guide is currently set. And I'm going to get a nice, pretty top stitching. Notice I'm just opening this up. Usually you would press that open, but look what you get when you top stitch that down and how straight it is. Hey, look at that. If you have something to guide by, it will make you look better. So I always have to have some kind of guide. I wouldn't have been able to sew that straight without this foot. So we're just going to put the regular presser foot back on and go back to a straight stitch in the center needle position. If you just touch your stitch number 1 again, it will clear out any settings that were originally done. The next thing I notice people sometimes do is they struggle by helping the machine or helping the fabric through the machine. They push the fabric, which often leads to the needle breaking because you've pushed it and it doesn't go through the throat plate. It hits the back of the throat plate, and well, that's not good. So instead of helping it, you need to let the machine help itself. Start by increasing the stitch length to at least 3.0. So that longer stitch length means the feed dogs will do more work and make those stitches not look so teeny tiny. You might even go up as long as 3.5. The other thing is after I've pressed this up, like you see, is a lot of people also want to stitch from this side. Do you know that the stitch on the top is prettier than the stitch on the bottom when you go through this many layers and with this thick of a denim? So my recommendation is to get everything pressed and pinned and then stitch from the top side. That's why they call it top stitching. Use one of the guides to follow along and you'll definitely feel the difference. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start by stopping with the needle in the down position. And when the foot comes up and tries to get over that thickness, now I will tell you, if I had a denim needle in, I could probably just go right over this. But you know what I'm talking about. When it gets really, really thick, this tool is going to be your lifesaver. First, on one side, you have a thinner than the other side. So this would be for a super thick seam, and this will be for more like what we're doing today. So as the foot starts to angle up, that's where you sometimes get those little tiny stitches. So stop here, lift up the presser foot, and slide the tool under the foot, but up to the seam. Not under the foot though, not totally under it. Just enough so it levels the foot with the seam that it's about ready to cross. And you don't even have to hold the fabric. You can be hands off. Your needle will stop down. Now it's kind of on this high plateau, and the foot is continually being level now. But what happens when you come off a really thick seam? Sometimes that drop off is when you get that one long stitch. So if you were to take the tool, set it in front of the foot, let the machine stitch slowly, so you don't stitch into this. Yes, you can stitch into this tool. The machine will go right through it. Ask me how I know. And then it continues. So let's take a look at what we have. It's a nice even stitching, no skip stitches. You notice I didn't have to push or pull, and we definitely didn't break a needle when going through something super thick. And look how perfect that is. So remember your multi-purpose tool, lengthen out the stitch length, and don't forget we showed how a little foot that already comes with your machine can be used for some top stitching that's perfect every single time.